the Monday AmeriFirst. And good morning to Ameritrust. And this gentleman on my left, Ron Garber, out on the West Coast. Buenos dias and menudo. And it is a little chilly down here in Florida, Garb. I don't know what you got temperature-wise, but man, it's a little chilly down here in Florida. I can only imagine what they got going up north.
Yeah, no, it's freezing here. It's about like 60 degrees, and we don't even know how to function, right? So it's freezing at 60 degrees.
Yeah, we feel for all those people in the Northeast and Midwest that got that snow. I saw Brandon Davis said he's got 20 inches of snow on the ground in some places. So, man, prayers for all those guys up there. Anyway, let's get started with today's Momentum Monday. We've got a great show for you today. A couple of our strongest realtor partners down here in the Florida area, and can't wait to get them on. We want to have lots of Q&A. Want to welcome anybody to ask lots of questions, talking about loyalty and commitment to a partnership. Garb, what made you put this together today?
Well, we were starting to have a dialogue, at the end of the week about just brainstorming, and it was about, perception, right? The sky is falling. Oh my God, interest rates are going up. It's going to be whatever. And so we were saying, what is it from a real estate perspective? How does a real estate agent broker look at it? How does partnership work when it's a fluctuating market and you don't know what it's going to be? And so Ron was kind enough to connect up with two incredibly diverse real estate stories, but they both tell such an amazing partnership story. And I think everybody will get something out of it. But there's one common piece you'll hear, which is strong leadership and knowing where they're going and knowing what they're doing. And it's what leadership brings to a partnership, and it's going to be a really exciting day today. I think everybody
awesome.
will enjoy it.
Awesome. Well, let's get started. Again, lots of Q&A. Feel free to put that down at the bottom of the screen. And Garb, I'll let you do the intros.
Okay. All right. So why don't both Tom and Jenny, why don't you come forward? All right. There's Jenny. And there's Tom. So this is going to be so good, and we got so much to talk about. So we're going to cut the intro down to just short, right? So Tom, you got 15 seconds, 20 seconds, which you're going to have trouble doing. You can't do anything in 15, 20 seconds. But tell them who you are and your team and how many, and just give a quick.
You're muted, Tom. Tom, your bottom left corner, you got unmute.
Got it. All right, Tom Nickley, Jenny and I are both here in the same market in Central Florida. I've been in real estate since 2013, started our team from scratch in 2015. Fast forward to today, last year we closed just at 800 transactions for just under 300 million, 25 agents, another 25 in admin and operations staff. 50 people total and going strong.
Not bad credentials. So Jenny, kind of give your overview from when you got in this thing and for being only like 24 years old, you've been in this business a long time. So
yeah, it's amazing how I've gotten 22 years in this game. I don't know. So I'm Jenny, same market as Tom, Orlando, Florida. I've been licensed for 22 years and have slowly built a team. We're up to a team Ridge, was what we call it, because we're a brokerage and operating as a team of about 80 team members. We call ourselves We Mates because of We Mert. And last year we did about 1,040 transactions, 340 million, and going strong. Something we're really proud of is that we have over 32 team members that have been with us 5 years or more. I think that will be important later.
Yeah, no, it will be. And so, all right, so here's what I want to start with. So you're both pretty clear that interest rates are going to probably tick up this year, right? No confusion there?
No.
Right? And so, price is up, price is down, interest rates up. I know, Jay, we talked about, you kind of cycle through, 3 or 4 different of these markets, but there's only 2, right? House prices go up, house prices go down, interest rates up. It doesn't really change from those two scenarios, correct?
Correct.
And both of you did the numbers are staggering in how much business you've done. And do you plan on doing more this year or less this year?
Tom?
I plan on doing more.
I had a
We
feeling.
plan on doing more than Tom.
Oh, there you go.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, Jenny, I was gonna say we plan on doing more than
Just
Jenny, but I did not say it for once. And then you got me. I will never not say that again.
Well, you had the chance and you didn't do it. So here's the question, right? In making that statement, right? Interest rates up, interest rates down, prices up. Did you didn't really factor when you said I'm going to do more, whatever the market conditions are. It didn't really factor when you made that. You're going to go do more no matter what the hell the market's going to do. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Right. So let me start with Tom and I'll move over. So Tom, with a smaller group of people, right? And I know that let's just talk about, running the team, mindset, leadership, everybody together, controlling, what's done, how it's done. I know you run a good business model. So talk about how you from December, whatever it was, to January, whatever, you're transitioning over. Talk as a leader of a small defined group first, and then the second part of it is you're great partners with AmeriFirst and that continuity. So talk about both.
Sure, and I'll try to give it a condensed version, but I think it all plays into, we're very intentional about the way that we do things. From when we started till now, we've always been very intentional about, working at a high level, being world-class, being great salespeople, being great agents, creating a lot of value. And what we've always said from the beginning is we are building a team and a system that is going to be market proof, that it doesn't matter what's going on in the market. It doesn't matter if interest rates go up or down, or prices go up or down, or the market tanks. If we're doing the right things, if our team is built on the right processes and systems and mindsets and mentality, then we're going to succeed regardless, right? I always use, for example, and I wasn't around then, when the market tanked in 2008, 9, 10, the sky fell and it was absolutely the worst of the worst. But what a lot of people don't pay attention to is, when you look at those years and the following years, more homes sold in those following years than the years prior to the crash. It was who's selling them, who's your market, who are your people, right? So we've always built a team on the fact that we are going to build the habits and build the businesses, that it doesn't matter what's going on in the market. We're going to position ourselves to be where the business is. Our audience might be different. Our people might be different. Our messaging might be different. The way that we consult people might be different. So we've been very intentional in building a team around that, right? And a lot of that is we're in the office every day. We're focused on business building every day. Our agents are building a business and not just selling a real estate. They're building a database, relationships. We really give a lot of weight to educating our consumers, educating our clients. And, you guys have all seen it. It's like we've seen 3 market shifts in the last 2 years, right? Pandemic hit and holy shit, the market's going to crash. Everything's going to tank. Let's go remote. And then, oh my God, wait, everything's going crazy. And it's this crazy seller's market. And now, prices are through the roof. And oh my God, now interest rates are going to increase. But at the end of the day, people are still buying homes. People are still doing business. People are still in the market. We just have to position ourselves and our message and the way that we're consulting clients accordingly, right? So, when you talk about shifting from December to January, I think it's foolish that people didn't go into December knowing that interest rates weren't going to increase this year, right? Like that's been a long time coming. We've been talking about that for the last year. We've been preparing and talking about that for the past year, because ultimately, I believe, as long as we're in tune with the market and where it's going and how there's still a lot of value and how it still makes sense to buy a house and it doesn't make sense to rent. And as long as we understand these things, we embrace these things, and therefore we can educate our consumers about these things and about the market, then we're still going to succeed. So for us, for us, it wasn't a major shift. For more, it was being prepared for this day and being prepared to be able to have that conversation and to educate clients, right? Because there's two trains of thought. The sky is falling, holy shit, interest rates are going up, or everything is going to be okay. Yes, interest rates are going up, but it's going to be okay. They're still historically low. So I think for us, it's just preparing and understanding and educating our agents and getting them ready to be able to sit down. And we don't just meet people and show them homes. We meet people and educate them, right? If we're educating them and we're able to explain why it makes sense, and we're able to let them know that we're going to guide them through this journey, then we're going to land on the ones that ultimately end up buying a home, right?
So let me ask you a question. I know the answer, but this is just, it's just kind of funny. You work in a brokerage firm. I know you probably carve out so that your world is just your world. However, Thanksgiving happened, and then Christmas happened, and then this thing called New Year's happened. So traditionally, if you take the real estate industry, people, I don't know, they think they go hibernate somewhere around Thanksgiving, and then it runs through that, and then nobody does anything in January, February. Did you hibernate, and did your team hibernate in Thanksgiving through Christmas?
No, not at all. I mean, obviously, we think balance is important, and we think that people taking time. But ultimately, you know, our business model is built around. You look behind me now; all my guys are out there prospecting and making calls, and it's call block. So, you know, we kept that up. We keep, you know, we look at the fourth quarter as a time to stack our pipeline and build business when lead flow might not be so high and opportunities might not be so abundant. So, you know, we're preparing for the first quarter in our fourth quarter. So we were still here every day. We were still at our call blocks and our meetings and our call nights. And, you know, instead of being, you know, and for us, it's a time of, you know, you go through the summer where it's busy, crazy, and you don't have any time to breathe. We actually welcome the fourth quarter because it gives people the time to be in the office, to really focus on those relationships, to really focus on building that pipeline, and now start talking to those people that are going to be ready in the first quarter, second quarter. So by no means did we hibernate. We doubled down.
Sounds good. So Jen, let me ask you questions, which is just amazing. Running a real estate, you know, brokerage model with 80 people, and some of those people, again, have been with you for 5 years, which is just it's amazing. That 32 been with you for 5 years. And then we talked about there's some group in the middle, but then there's a big chunk of them which are new to your operation, new to your company, and you spend a lot of time getting them to do the right things with the right activities. So talk a little bit about, you know, how you really what do you do with each group, you know, and how do you treat the people been with you for a while, and then the people that you believe in, that you brought aboard, and your commitment to them. So talk a little bit about the different groups that you've got in your organization.
Yeah. So, like, you know, a lot of it's built on trust and mastery. So as our agents become masters of this business, we leave them alone. We don't chase them around and hold them accountable. We are partnering with them in their business, right? Let's say our $10 million producers, we have 14 $10 million plus producers on our team. Those guys, they don't need me to tell them how to convert a lead, right? And they don't need me to tell them how many people to call a day. They know what to do, right? So for them, we try to bring them opportunities, maybe to help them with wealth building and teaching them leverage and how to take their businesses to the next level. That's what they need from us. So like we introduced them to Doug Long the other day at dinner, and Doug shared his story, and that was a great way for us to kind of partner with our lender partners. One, to put you guys up on the pedestal, but two, to teach our agents, because you guys are brilliant. Our mid group, like our $5 million to $10 million producers, again, don't necessarily need us to tell them what to do every day, but they need to be working smarter. You know, so it's like, okay, do you want to leverage, or do you want to just change your price point, or, you know, reduce the amount of drive time you're doing and work in a specific area, kind of thing. So it's more coaching in that group. And then we have the launch group where it's like, this is an appraisal, and this is a 1031, and this is all the questions, all of the training, what we do have to tell them what to do every day because they don't know any better. So, we put a lot of our efforts it feels like more effort on the lower group just because they have just so many questions and need so much help. But we don't leave our top group unattended. We want to make sure that we're continuing to bring value to them every day, because that's the key to having all of this, what's the word? Just escaped me, but everybody staying on for a long time is the fact that we wake up every day trying to bring value to our team and doing our part, So
let me ask you a question. I mean, if I look at the data for any brokerage firm across the country, I see it the same way every single time. It's the 90, 10 or worse, right? 95-5 even, but 90-10. So when you look at your folks, right, the bottom, when you mentor them, do you have minimum standards that you either hit minimum standards or this is not going to work for us as an entity? Do you have minimum standards that you have in place?
Yeah, I know it's probably not going to be a popular answer, but no. We allow our agents to choose their own goals. And if they match up with our goals for them, then we will do our part to bring their, the structure and everything around them for them to hit their goals. And then if they are not hitting their goals or they become a liability, obviously, we're going to work on coaching. They are uncomfortable on the team if they're not producing. Our team is full of producers. We don't have unproductive agents at all. So they're just uncomfortable. And so if they become a liability, they're not a good team member, they're not showing up, they're not doing the things, then they have to move on. But we give them a lot of grace to get out of the gate. It doesn't cost us much to carry an agent. So if they are good, we will give them a chance, but we hire very specifically. We don't just let everybody come on the team. We hire specific types of people.
So one of the things, and I'll ask you this, and I'll go back over to Tom. But one of the things that was so fascinating, it goes back to you being in several, 3 or 4 different markets, is that when you were talking about, talk a little bit about, you shifting over to developing different opportunities and partnering differently with agents, with an agent lender relationship, coming up with different thoughts and ideas on how you guys can work together or partner, or some of the things you talked to me about that, which were fascinating. So talk a little bit about the relationship and how you shifted markets and shifted opportunities, and because it was fascinating. Go ahead.
Well, we look at our partnership with our lenders as a partner, true partnership, right? It is an important piece of the puzzle to be able to get deals done, to be able to work closely with our lender partners, because it is tough out there and we need to be creative and we need to be hands on deck. So Ron, I gave him an example of how we were looking at a third-party program called Ribbon. And instead of just keeping that to myself, I brought it to AmeriFirst and said, hey guys, listen, here's an opportunity for us to turn our first-time home buyers into cash buyers. They're looking for 1% to do that. We get to keep you on as a lender. We just have to make sure we're getting to the closing table on time. And so could we absorb that 1% into their loan? If I have to contribute, I'll contribute. But what a great way to help get these buyers to get offers accepted in this market. And, these guys, I think they actually flew up to Dallas to meet with them. Like, they took that so seriously and off they went to meet with this company. So I just think that we need to be creative together. We need to stay in dialogue and we need to protect each other. Now, obviously the buyers get to choose who they use, but in our world, that is a control piece that we have. We have 4 lenders that our agents can choose from because we believe they need a little bit of choice and they need to be able to pair the client with the right lender. But then, we show them and they see every day how it benefits them to really push that. Instead of trying to go out on their own or find somebody that's going to do it cheaper, they will always pay in the end. It will be extended. And then really, we end up giving it commission and it's a mess. It's always a mess if we go outside of our preferred lenders. So we're really loyal to those relationships. We do see it as a partnership. We ask for it to be 50-50. We want to make sure we're doing our part all the time. I know that's unique out there. I know, like, unfortunately, a lot of realtors are takers. We're not, we just really believe in that partnership. And, we need to be able to get the truth, tell us the truth and don't hide. There's the worst thing that a lender can do is stick their head in the sand when something goes bad, right? Like, just be in front of it. Please be proactive. Don't make us call and ask to see if you've ordered the appraisal. Tell us ahead so we can just check it off our box, and be proactive in communication and call when it's bad. It's
that's a great answer. So Tom, I won't say that you're kind of a control freak, but I kind of think you're a little bit of a control freak. So you run the model that works for you. We talked a little bit about some interesting things on controlling listings, right? And things that so talk a little bit about when we talked about would somebody jump ship because, oh my God, lender XYZ is lower by 1%, and talk about what you told me in terms of controlling the deal or educating, like you talked about, or even the story about the 60 grand for the deal. I mean, talk a little bit about those things were fascinating to me.
Yeah, and I have to start by saying all the things that Jenny said are so on point. Her and I think very, very, very much along the same lines when it comes to the importance of lender partners. I truly believe, and our agents truly believe, that when it comes to a deal and closing on a home, that the lender plays as important of a role, if not more of an important role than an agent sometimes, right? Especially in this current environment where sellers are getting 25 offers, 30 offers, crazy amounts of offers, right? So we truly value the partnership that we have with our lenders. And for us, it's super, 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 super important that the lenders that we're working with understand each, the needs that we have, and understand, the great thing, we work with multiple lenders, like Jenny said. We work with multiple people from AmeriFirst here locally, and it's super important for them to get in tune with each and every agent and their specific needs and their specific way that they run their business. We have some agents that are go 24 hours a day, and they preach urgency and they think urgency and they think urgently, and they need a lender that's gonna be on point and gonna be urgent and gonna be there and gonna be available. So it's great to have lenders that they understand the needs that we have in this market, whether it be calling listing agents, whether it be an agent now, specifically more than ever, they want to be able to hand that deal over to the lender and then move and get out of the way and not have to worry about anything. Not like Jason, not have to worry about the appraisal being ordered, not have to worry about dates being missed, not worrying about having closing dates being pushed back, right? And especially in, I've seen it more and more and more in current times. You get all these other competing lenders. And, it used to be that the big banks would offer these really, 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 bottom of the barrel rates, right? Now you get all these internet lenders, these guys out of California and these guys all over the place, and they're offering this super, 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 super low interest rate. And, but they're not getting the deal closed. They're not getting it closed smoothly. It wreaks such havoc on that transaction, on the agent, the client. And man, I gotta tell you, it cannot be that way in today's market, right? When it comes to getting extensions and extending deals, like listing agents just aren't playing that shit anymore. Like, they just are not, because they've got 20 other offers behind you that are waiting. They've got a cash offer that came in after they accepted yours that's willing to pay $10,000 more than your buyer. They're not sitting and holding on and saying, okay, so, these other lenders that will offer these bottom of the barrel rates, or, these super low fees, it may sound really good on the surface, but they never, ever work out smoothly and easily, right? And so for us, we use those as learning experiences, and we use those as third-party stories when somebody comes to us and says, hey, I've got this lender that's offering, 0.75% lower or 1% lower. And we're now able to go, yeah, that may sound good, but that doesn't matter if the deal doesn't close, right? I was telling Ron a little bit earlier, we literally, thank God, just closed a deal last week where they used a third-party lender from another state that just doesn't understand the market here, doesn't deliver on time, has all the excuses, log jams in underwriting, and all these things that we never get when we're working with AmeriFirst. And we had to extend 3 times. This guy ended up being $40,000 in hard earnest money for the seller to extend. And the agent on our team is saying, I wouldn't do it. It's not a good deal. But the client really, the buyer wanted the house. And in order to extend a second and a third time, they had to continue. He was $40,000 in on earnest money. And if he would have simply went with our recommendation, or if we would have been better at making that recommendation up front, then we would have closed ahead of time, on time, right? So I think that the partnership are all of those things. It's, I know that our lender partners, they know our team, they know our needs, they know our model, they know our agents, they know what they need to do, whether it be available, whether it needs to be, some of our agents want to call to the listing agent every time. Well, you know what? Our partners know that that's part of the deal and they're there. They know, they know the intricacies of our business.
Yeah.
It also allows us to really be able to confidently have that conversation with that buyer that we might have just met a couple hours ago or a couple days ago and say, hey, I know that you got this lender and I know you feel like that they're going to save you some money, but let me explain to you why that's not the best route. Let me explain to you why you want to go with one of our guys, because AmeriFirst, for example, we've never missed a closing date ever, not once. And we close hundreds of deals a year with you guys. And we've never, not only have we never missed a closing date, we've never, a deal that you guys have wrote a pre-approval on, we've never not closed one of those deals once they've got under contract. So when you guys are offering that support and you're putting your money where your mouth is and you're taking that pressure off the agents, then they can naturally and easily go have that conversation. And 99% of the time, consumers are going to listen to that when you have that conversation confidently, right? So I think that relationship, I think that us being able to count on that partnership, that's everything. That is everything. Like, rate's not shit. Like that is everything.
So look, I'm gonna summarize and then let you have a last couple words. But this is what hit home. I mean, there's a huge trust, right? There's a huge trust and confidence that performance is everything and you can count on it. But here's the interesting thing, right? I'll call it consulting, right? So for the loan officers that go like, I actually don't know what to say or how to consult or what to ask, right? This was the greatest consulting. Tom tells you what he wants, what he needs, what he's looking for. Jenny knows what she wants, what she needs, what she's looking for. Consulting is nothing more than listening to what a really good real estate agent wants and needs, providing it, right? And then performing, right? So let me ask you this. A deal falls apart, right? And it's like you work with this lender a bunch of times and a deal falls apart, right? Do you stop the relationship if a deal falls apart where you know that 100 deals have gone well, right? Does that one deal matter if you know that everybody is working and everybody's trying? Do you just dump somebody because of a bad deal?
No, and the lenders hopefully don't dump us when we give them the worst.
We give them a shitty lead.
That's actually good. That's actually a good one. There's a trust. There's trust built in.
100%. And as long as we're communicating openly, there shouldn't be surprises, right? So we should be able to make those decisions and problem solve along the way. Now, internally, our agents do flock occasionally. They'll get mad. And then they will all like flock over to the other lender for a minute, and then they screw up, and then they all come back, but they can only go so far. So, we've got them trapped, but no, we will not fire somebody because they have a bad deal.
There you go. Hey, Ron, go ahead and you got, I'm sure that you wanted
Well,
to a lot of stuff, but go
Yeah,
ahead.
I mean, what I'd love to do is I'd love to get some of our loan officers to,
Oh.
because they have this small amount of time.
Sure.
I'd love them to get some Q&A here for them.
Please,
So
please.
they could ask these two very brilliant agents and great humans, great people. Both of them I know and love very much. So does Doug. I just like to get some Q&A going on because I think they have a lot there's probably some questions they want to ask, and let's get them rolling, Craig.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get those questions in there. Jenny, so looks like you had a name from the past show up.
My high school
Mike
buddy,
Hoffman
how
from
about that?
Saginaw.
That's pretty cool.
Small
Hey,
world,
Mike.
huh?
I know, that's a really small world. I'm like, no way. That's so awesome.
I was curious to what you saw. I saw the look on your face. I was so jealous that
I
I
was like, and I was just trying to talk to Mike Weeman. I'm like, hey, Hog's on here, like. Oh, did I just tell him your
Linda
nickname,
Thomas-
Mike? Sorry about that.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jenny. Linda Thomas shares trust and communication with 3 exclamation points, always important in any relationship. Anonymous says, Tom, that was not a paid advertisement for all those wonderful things that was said about AmeriFirst and never missing a closing. So just wanted to make sure we're clear on that one. Lance says, Ron, I think it's a two-way street. I think the real estate agent partner has to open as well as provide info and be open with communication, like Jenny said. So again, all boils down to communication. John asks, what's the one thing that we can say to get by your gatekeeper?
Oh,
Do you want me to tell the quick story about how Chris Hardiman got into?
You got to tell them the Chris Hardiman story. Absolutely.
So because we are so loyal to our lenders, everybody gets a no, right? You're not coming in to the office. You're not going to present. But we have a thing. We say, listen, I can't stop you from giving a lead to one of my agents, and they will protect you on that lead. They're not going to pull it, right? So if you can get some leads to a couple of our influencers and you start to work with our transaction managers, and then they start to campaign for you, we'll have to pay attention to that. And if an opportunity opens up, you'll be on the list. And so for a year, Chris gave one of our agents a couple of leads here and there, and worked his way in, and then when the opportunity came up, he was in. And so, but in our world, I don't know, I'm sure Tom thinks the same. I can't, as a leader, just drop a lender in the front and say, okay, this is who you're going to use now. There needs to be buy-in. There needs to be trust built, not just from me to the lender, but to the agents to the lender. And the agents don't care how much the lender's offering to be part of that. It's not about money. Like, you cannot buy this relationship. People offer us a ton of money. We don't want your money. We want a partnership. We want results, and we want growth.
Hold on a second. Stop there. This is a big one. This is a really big one. And I always talk about this one here because same as the relationship I had when Ron Bergen was my loan officer. It's like, so here's a real easy script, right? Here's $2,000. Help me do one more deal. One more deal is way more than $2,000, right? So do you want to help me grow my business, or do you need, because you can't fund your deal for your business for the month? I need the $2,000, right? One of them is a scarcity. I need the money. The other is let's grow a business together, right? Please, any loan officer on the call, please hear this one. Real solid agents want folks and partners that will help them grow their business, right? Big one. So thank you for sharing that one. That's a big one.
And just an idea, I'm sorry to hog the floor here, but just an idea for you guys. A big hole right now, especially if you're buying leads, or if you have an indie agent that's doing a lot and isn't super leveraged, help them answer the phone. Like, be the rollover for them, like be their ISA. You guys are going after the same leads we're going after, right? So convert those leads and hand them back and forth. So that's an easy, value add without costing you much money, if you could be just that backup phone guy or girl.
Yeah. And
Just
Lance Paul shares, kudos to Jenny on that. So Tom, I want to get one last question in. I know we're at the bottom of the hour or past the bottom of the hour, but there's two questions here. They're very similar to the last one. So I just want to read those to you and then maybe we can tie it all into one solid answer. So Lisa Staten up in Indianapolis asks, what did the loan officers that have you on the preferred list do to get your attention during their first conversation? How do they wind up on your list to start with? And then Mike Hoffman, Jenny's friend from way back, or not that far back when you were,
Way back.
if I could call on a top producing realtor I want to work with, what is the best initial conversation to have? How do I get them to sit down with me? I would call and email initially. How do I get them to call me back if they're already using another LO?
Well, I mean, the best way for us, what typically seems to work to get through to our agents and our team and through our gatekeepers with food and alcohol. So you offer us food and alcohol and we're in. So no, seriously, a lot of the same sentiment as Jenny. I think for us, and I think honestly, when it comes to just how our relationship with AmeriFirst started, I think it's how all of our relationships have started with our lender partners is, like Jenny said, it's not like somebody just comes to me and says, I want to be on, they come all the time, but I want to be on your list and I want to partner and I want to give you money. I want to do this and I want to do that and I want to do the other. But man, those when we put lender partners in front of our team, like they have to go through a lot more of a process and prove themselves a lot more than that. Because if we're putting somebody in front of our team, we're putting our name on that. We're putting our blessing on that. And I can't put anything in front of my team, and Jenny would say the same, that's not going to deliver, right? So a lot of the relationships that we have built have come through the agents, right? Where somebody has worked with an agent on the team or maybe on the other side of the deal. We don't even work with Chris, Hardiman, Jenny does. But, I will tell you, one of the things that solidified our relationship with him is he was working on the other side of a deal. It was a listing that we had, and Chris was the lender for the buyer on that deal. Wow. And it was a tough buyer and it was a tough deal. And the buyer was being difficult. And let me tell you something, Chris, and this was before AmeriFirst was even a partner. We had done a couple deals with a couple people, but Chris on the other end of this deal never worked with one of our agents, was just the buyer's agent on the other side. He went above and beyond to communicate with our listing agent and assure that this deal was going to close and assure that, yes, it was rocky and it was difficult, but they were going to get the deal closed. And, him as a representative of AmeriFirst, he gave us the confidence that this company was the real deal and they were on top of it. Because many times when it's a tough deal, the lender on the other end of that deal disappears or they're not available or you can't get a hold of them. So I think a lot of the times, there's a lot to be earned in that light. What you're doing on the other, maybe you're an agent on the other side. Or maybe you're the lender on the other side of the deal. But I think for us, our relationship really started, and it was a few years ago, but, and it was actually with Nick. So obviously he's really great at what he does, but he really kind of offered to come in and, offer value and to work the deals and to, kind of get in on the angle on some of the deals that other lenders didn't want to have anything to do with. The 203K deals, the down payment assistance deals. It was the stuff that, even lenders that we had worked with, they kind of would snub it, maybe the lower price point stuff, maybe the lower credit score stuff, maybe some of the stuff that other lenders didn't have time and energy to do. He said, hey, listen, I built my business on these deals. I built my business on this stuff. When I got into the industry, I literally specialized in these type of deals. I can certainly be a resource. And, for him to open up and say, hey, give me a shot at the deals that other lenders don't necessarily want to do or don't even offer products to do. Let me do those things. And man, this guy came in and did the work and made himself available and was willing to, as successful as he is, he made himself available to do the things and to be a resource. And it was a real need that we had, right? We didn't have anybody for these type of deals. It was literally anytime somebody needed a 203K or any of these other deals, we didn't have a resource. You know, the team would say, who do you have? Who do you have? Who do you have? Who do you have? So he kind of came in, and it wasn't, I think maybe he had to do one or two of those deals, but through those deals, he created value, and he showed that he listened and communicated and was on top of it, and still closed them on time. And these deals that traditionally were supposed to be more difficult deals to close, he made it look simple. And we thought, holy shit, here's a guy who was willing to take the stuff other people didn't want to take. And then he made it look super easy. And he made it seem like he was, you know, we were the only person that he was working with. He was so available. And through that, guess what? People start to talk, and people start to share, and people start to say, hey man, this guy that I just worked with on this deal is awesome. And he did this and he did that. And before you know it, you've got them saying, hey, let me send you this guy. Let me, you know, and now it was a natural progression. So I think it's, you know, you say the second question was, how do you kind of get into a top producer, and how do you start that conversation? And I think it's letting them know that you're a resource for any type of deal, that, you know, you're there, you know, that you kind of have this special niche, or you have this, you know, you're willing to work this angle or with this client, or, you know, or at this price point, and showing that you're just not in it for the easy deal, or the guy with the 800 credit score, or the guy with 25% down. And willing to do that and get dirty and roll your sleeves up and close these deals that traditionally people think are hard to close. You make those look easy, and it's easy to kind of naturally grow that relationship.
So Craig, I know the Craig look right now, which is we're so far over, it's ridiculous. So I don't care at this point, Craig. So anyway, hold on for 1 second. So anyway, I'll tell you the best I got, right? Trust and performance are the two best words, right? That I got. The work both sides, the buyer seller side, which is one thing that Bergam always talks about. And the other one is, it doesn't matter whether you're the champion and own the account, or the challenger and you want to get in, and it doesn't take a week. Sometimes it takes a year, but sooner or later, right? If you do the right things that Tom just talked about, you will get an opportunity if you're tenacious and you do not quit. But what I would tell you is, try to keep working the greatest opportunities, right? Not the person doing 2 deals a year, but the opportunities where if you get in, it is a gold mine, like working with a Tom or a Jenny. So this may be, I got to tell you, this may be one of the greatest momentum Mondays we ever had, from my perspective. And it's a gold mine. Everybody on this call should listen to this one once or twice more, including myself, because the gold nuggets about how you can be a phenomenal consultant and really do well in 2022 is all in this, what is 40 minutes, which is actually 12 minutes over. So anyway, it's been a blessing. I really appreciate everything that we've done, and maybe we'll do this again in a couple months, but thank you both from your perspective, which are different, but a lot of it is the same. So Craig, don't take too long, Craig. We're at the.
No, I get it. And Tom, I love the Monopoly poster behind you. It looks like there's another one that's just to the left of behind you, to the right. But yeah, I love those. I know, Jenny, you're typing out that, but I am going to just ask this one last question from Lance out in California. Is there anything you guys would change or like to see changed in the industry today? And I'm not sure what you just typed to Lance, Jenny, but maybe you can share that with us.
Yeah, I was just saying, you know, anything we can leverage technology to be able to send out updates as soon as things are done. Because as a realtor, most of the job of transaction to close isn't really our job. It's lending, it's title, but we have to hire transaction managers to manage all of the different parties and do the whole job. And so instead of us, like I said earlier, having to say, have you received all the application? Have you done you know, is it in underwriting? Have you ordered the appraisal, blah, blah, blah. If that could be proactively sent out, it builds trust between the relationship with the agents. And now I don't have to spend as much money on transaction management because I can trust our partners. So, you know, that can be leveraged through technology. You guys already do such a good job. We wouldn't be with you if you didn't, but, you know, we can always get better at that.
Tom, anything from your seat?
Well, say the question again.
Just if there's anything from a mortgage industry perspective that you would change, you'd like to see improved from what goes on today.
You know what, same thing that Jenny said, and I think that our challenges are probably a little bit different because we do volumes of transactions, but I do think that transparency and that clarity of where we're at in the process and that technology piece, that is something, I mean, we're trying to build that stuff into our own business through our CRM, but I think that it ultimately just makes it easier. Yeah, I agree 100% on that piece. I mean, you guys already do so many of the things that we, you know, that we look for. That definitely would make it even better.
Awesome. Well, thank you both so much. Really appreciate you sticking past the time allotted, and really appreciate your candor, and so appreciate your friendship and your partnership. So thank you again for being with us today. All right, we will see everybody back here on Wednesday at 11 o'clock Eastern for the readiness briefing. Don't forget, we have front and center. Oh, let me back up. The readiness briefing, we're going to talk about the second home LLPA, so don't miss that because they did come out last week, and it's some really important stuff that's going to come out on Wednesday. Also, we got front and center with Mark and Dave on Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern, and then, of course, Hour of Power, 1 o'clock Eastern on Friday. So until then, positivity breeds success and happiness, guys. Put a smile on your face and go get them. Take care, everybody.
Easy, guys.
Guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.